Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Miss Dhanusha. I chat about self-care for millennial women who are 9-to-5ers, content creators, and have side hustles. So, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you and I hope you enjoy my content. And if you're returning, then thank you for clicking on my video and I hope you enjoy this one. Before I get started with this video, I wanted to send a huge shout out to Marlene Charles. She says, my next holiday is going to be Cape Town. Well, Cape Town is waiting for you. I'm going to show it to you on the screen as well. I know I've been really bad with doing the shout outs and I will get better. So if you want to shout out in my next video, all you need to do is comment on this video. I will share it in my next video. So today I am chatting about self-doubt, how to get rid of it. And this is a bit of a new setup. Do let me know what you think about it in the comments. So if you want to know how to get rid of self-doubt, then just keep on watching. Okay, before I even get started, I just want to chat about how you feel when you doubt yourself and how this kind of limits you and limits what you achieve in your life, or it can limit your achievements and your success overall. When you doubt yourself, you are not confident in your abilities, and as humans we naturally tend to doubt ourselves and we tend to have negative thoughts, sometimes more often than positive thoughts, and you lack the confidence and you lack the motivation, you lack the self-esteem because you doubt yourself. You doubt that you can achieve whatever it is you set out to do, or you doubt that things are possible for you. You doubt the career you're in, or you doubt your decisions, and you're just not secure in yourself because of these doubts. So once you work through some of the tips that I'm going to share with you, you should be able to become more confident. You should be able to raise your self-esteem, and you should be able to slowly get rid of these self-doubts, and this should help you in the long term. It will help you with your goal setting, it will help you with becoming more successful, and it will help you just be secure in yourself and become confident. And this was something that somebody had asked me, one of my followers had asked me. She said, can you please do more content on self-doubts? And I actually thought this was a really good topic of discussion, and yeah, so I'm just keen to share with you just some tips and tricks and how you can get rid of those self-doubts. Okay, so tip number one, always have my notebook. Always be prepared. No, I'm joking, that's not the tip. Okay, so tip number one for me is to let go of your fears. And basically we become fearful because we think that the new challenge or the new opportunity or whatever it may be is scary, and we're just not sure about it. So we develop this fear of, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it, or we just think that it's too much for you, and you become scared of whatever it is you need to do. And I think for me, I think it's just trying to limit that thinking and change your mindset and tell yourself, this is fear. I want to not react to fear. I want to take on the new challenge, or I want to not be afraid. I am capable. And for me, I use the affirmations to do this. And I think I also don't have those thoughts. Like, I stop them in my tracks and I ask, like, what are you afraid of? And if there's nothing really to be afraid of, and generally it's not, it's just the fear of starting, or the fear of letting go of something, or the fear that you're not good enough. That's the limiting thinking that's keeping you scared, and you want to get rid of that thinking. You want to move past that. So for that, you could use your affirmations. You can write your own specific mantras daily that you would say to yourself, and that should help you to get rid of that fear and change your mindset. So you have to be so mindful of every thought and every action and everything that you're thinking, and try to limit those fears. Because once you do get started and once you go ahead, you don't find that fear anymore. So it's mostly just a fear of starting or letting go. So yeah, so just remember to try not be fearful. Okay, and then the next thing, which is the big one, which I mention all the time, if you follow me online, I mentioned it a lot, so I'm not going to chat about it too much because I think we all know this. Number 2 is comparison to others. We tend to compare ourselves all the time, and it's also human nature to compare to the next person, new peers, new colleagues, for example. And what it does is it compares your day like 1 to their day 365 or their day like 900. And you compare in 2 different stages. And even if you're doing the same thing, it's 2 separate parts it's 2 very far parts. And it doesn't make sense to do that. And even if it's somebody that's not doing the same thing as you, why would you then compare yourself to somebody else? And I always say that your life is different, and your life path is different to the next person. So it's like you comparing apples to oranges. It really doesn't make sense to do it. And it does. Once you think about it and you realize how much you compare yourself to the next person, you realize how limiting it is for you, and how you just don't want to do something, and how it makes your motivation lack because you think, oh, the next person's already doing it, or look at their success, I can't do it. Just stop. Just stop comparing yourself. Once you get past that, I promise you it's better on the other side. And then tip number 3. Okay, so I love this one because it's something that I also need to stop doing. I don't do it often, but sometimes you just end up doing it. So tip number 3 for me is to stop listening to the opinions of others. And that's especially people that have not done what you want to do or haven't even embarked on that journey. Because when we want to start something new, or when we want to do anything, actually, we tend to lean on our friends, family, and people that we're close to say like, hey, how do you feel about this? Do you think I could do it? Or hey, what do you think of this project? Do you think like, does it fit me? Can I do it? And sometimes, or more often than not, those people have not done what you're going to do. And even if it is something someone who has done it, they have a completely different life part to you, and they have a completely different experience with it, and you're a different person. So their opinion is just their opinion. You shouldn't take it to heart. And also realize that like human nature, again, we all think negatively, and we all assume the worst is going to happen. But if you rather keep things to yourself and rely on yourself and look internal for that validation, for that affirming it, using your mantras, using your affirmations, using that instead of listening to somebody else who opinion may matter, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's correct. Because how often is it that you're excited about something and you tell someone else and they're like, yeah, if you can do it, or like, yeah, we'll see. Like, you know, that's really difficult. Like, those opinions are literally just opinions, and it can fill your mind and like make you believe them until you stop, and until you look internally and you start relying on your inner self, and you start saying things to yourself, look, I can do this, I want to achieve this, this is for me, and I'm going to do it. And that's how you kind of just get rid of that noise and the thoughts of other people, because you don't want people living in your head rent free. Do you? Do you really? No. So just change up the scenery. Number 4 for me is to do things that boost your self-confidence. So if you know that when you dress up, you feel confident in yourself, you feel better, you feel more put together, then do that. Or if you feel like you need to like do lots of research, or you need to look up things and be well learned on a topic before you even talk about it, then do that. Things that boost your self-confidence ultimately helps you get rid of the things that make you doubt yourself. So if you know that you're not going to be comfortable because of whatever scenario, try to change that narrative and do something that will boost your confidence, so that you can make decisions and you can make choices stemming from confidence and not doubt. A good example of this is in a meeting, in a work meeting, for instance. You want to go in there prepared, knowing that you understand what the meeting agenda is, so that you can prepare beforehand, and that makes you feel confident to give in your ideas and your suggestions. So do that. And then number 5, Number 5 for me is a little bit deeper, and it's something that we all have to work through. So for me, it is understanding your triggers, understanding what makes you feel doubt. Growing up, you might not have been told you're great. You might not have been told positive things. You might not have been boosted. You might have not heard good things about yourself. So you ultimately go into that inner child, and you still find that you are that child, and you need to heal that. You need to work through that, because you will go back to that thinking, that belief structure, where if you were told things like you aren't important, you don't matter, you're not smart, you're not confident, you actually believe those things. So you're understanding what triggers that, who are the people that trigger that. You don't want to surround yourself with people like that, and you want to know how you react to certain things, and knowing that from your childhood, this is what grew you and what developed you. You need to work on that to move on past that, so that you don't develop more doubts and you don't feel as though you're a child again. So you have to work through that inner child and understand your triggers, and try to avoid those triggers, try to work past them, and try to heal. And then number 6 for me is the most important one, because it is how you speak to yourself. And a lot of the times, I even find myself guilty of this sometimes, that I would say negative things to myself, in the sense of like, oh, I can't do this, like, I'm tired of this is too overwhelming. And I would say the negative things to myself. It's not another person. So you can't expect other people to speak positively to you as well if you're completely negative on the inside, because no matter what anyone else tells you, you're not going to believe it anyway. So you need to change the narrative. You need to speak positively to yourself, because that thought becomes how you think and behave and react, and that thought becomes the action, and it becomes your belief. So if you keep saying to yourself, I can't do this, and you keep saying this is too much, I'm not capable, and you keep saying negative things all the time, you will just doubt yourself all the time. You won't believe that you can do anything. And that internal dialogue is the most important, because then nobody else or other external factors can disturb your confidence and your self-esteem if you yourself believe when you're positive. So you need to turn that positive information into an actual belief structure and do what it is that you set out to do, because you believe you can. And yes, for me, that's the most important thing. And I definitely recommend that if you want to start with that, then definitely start with that. I kept it for the end because it's the most important thing. But yeah, if you want to start, I think starting with that would be a great point for anybody. So yeah, I hope these tips help you. If you learn something, drop me a comment, let me know. And yeah, let me know what you would like to see as well in my next video. If you'd like these kind of topics, I love filming this, and I think it's a learning lesson for us all. If you have a tip for me as well, share with me in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next video, and don't forget to leave your comments so I can shout you out in my next video. Bye guys.